One Punch Man tells the story of Saitama, the superhero who, because he can defeat any opponent with a single punch, grows bored from a lack of challenge. The idea of a hero being able to defeat any enemy with a single punch may seem like a strange concept, but the way this show and the staff behind it executes it is nothing short of magnificent. Armed with a sharp wit, brilliant voice acting, and beautiful artwork, One Punch Man combines over-the-top action with comedy to produce one of the finest shows out there. While waiting for the next season, let's watch again some of the best fights and moments that were delivered by Season 1 and 2. That's my list of most memorable and epic One Punch Man moments. Enjoy and share your list and comment below. Starting out with number 10, we have Saitama against Giant. Marigori being told that it will give him the power he always wanted, drank the Biceps Brachii King steroid developed by his older brother. It turned him into a mutated giant. The brother then commands the giant to kill Saitama, but instead of killing Saitama, the giant accidentally kills his brother. In his ensuing rage, Marigori grabs Saitama, then throws him to the ground and starts to punch repeatedly, leaving a really giant hole in the ground. Believing himself victorious, Marigori begins to mourn for his brother until Saitama jumps out of the hole and punches him in the face, killing him. Coming in at number 9, Garou against everyone. Going up against a group of 8 heroes led by Death Gatling, Garou really showed what is he capable of. The fight starts with Garou leaping into action despite being poisoned by 2 shooters' arrows. First, he manages to block Smile Man's kendama weapon and launches it at Chain Toad, then grabs Toad's blade out of the air and blocks several of Blam Blam's bullets. From there, Garou starts knocking the heroes out one by one. He launches Smile Man's giant ball at Blam Blam, uses Wildhorn as a human shield for a barrage of shooters' poison arrows, nails Shooter with a handful of rocks, hits Smile Man across the face with a kick, all while running to his next target, Glasses, who received a hit that knocked him out of the fight square in the jaw. Shortly after, he demolishes both Megain and Stinger with strikes. He tricks Gatling into wasting all of his bullets in a single attack, while preparing to deal last blow. After beating up all of them, Garou Hero Hunt surpassed 100 heroes, and that's not even the end. He went afterwards against Genos and his master, Bang and his older brother Bomb, still doing more than fine. The battle leaves Garou significantly injured and on the verge of death. Bang feels sadness in knowing that his former number 1 disciple has become a true monster. Next up at number 8, Genos and Saitama against Mosquito Girl. After following the swarm to Mosquito Girl, Genos confronts her. He obliterates scores of her mosquitoes with heat blasts. Mosquito Girl avoids his attacks and cuts off his right arm, only to realize Genos had simultaneously torn off both of her lower legs. Genos is being interrupted by Saitama, who is chasing a mosquito with bug spray. Thinking of him as an idiot, Genos tells Saitama to evacuate. Summoning a gigantic mass of the insects, she gorges herself using their blood, regenerating her limbs and becoming stronger and faster than before. From now on, Genos is unable to keep up with her speed and is thrown up in the air. Bruised, beaten, and outmatched, he realizes the blood also increased her power exponentially. Before using his last resort, self-destruct, Saitama slaps Mosquito Girl, sending her crashing through a building and into the distance, leaving Genos in shock.
Uze. ハンマーヘッドならあっちに行ったけど、全裸で。なんだこりゃ。
At number 7, we have Saitama against Sonic. Sonic attacks Saitama, mistaking him for a Paradiser because of his bald head, but Saitama easily catches his attacks. Due to his pride getting damaged, Sonic tries to kill Saitama for being able to see through his attacks. He showcases his speed, boasting how Saitama can't keep up with it. But to his surprise, he quickly turns his head to Sonic and asks if he can go home. Sonic tries to finish off Saitama with his wind blade kick. Saitama dodges, raises his fist, and says checkmate. Unfortunately, Sonic is accidentally hit in the crotch, ending their fight with Saitama being victorious.
Checkmate.
趣味でヒーローをやってるもんだ。俺は負けない。師匠は俺が守る。
Number 6, my personal favorite, Saitama against Subterraneans. The Subterranean people are the self-proclaimed true people of the Earth. They are ruled by the Subterranean king and live under the Earth's crust, but grew too numerous in numbers and plan to take over the surface. Saitama wakes up in his apartment when a hand comes through his wall and grabs him, throwing him into the street. Saitama then meets the Subterranean people, who brutally attack him and challenge his strength. They claim that they already killed many of the humans and proclaim ownership of the Earth. The Subterranean then attacks Saitama, shows his surprise for finding a surface dweller that survives their punches. Saitama shares the same sentiment, stating that it's been too long since he's fought such worthy opponents. A massive fight ensues. Saitama is going up against several Subterraneans, while dealing some blows. He also proceeds to expertly avoid their attacks, but then all 3 Subterraneans join their attacks to strike the hero downward. Saitama holds his elbows up to defend himself, but the force of the attack is potent enough to sink the road down, with Saitama eventually being the victor. At that point, the Subterranean King shows up. Saitama smiles at the challenge issued by Subterranean King and runs up, jumping to fight him while realizing this was the feeling he was looking for. But before anything could come out of that, Saitama wakes up, realizing that it was only a dream.
随分と世話になっているじゃないか。これがこの地帝王が相手をしてやる。これこそが俺の求めていた。
Coming in at number 5, we have the battle between Saitama and the House of Evolution's most powerful warrior, Carnage Kabuto. Carnage Kabuto uses his immense speed to get behind Saitama and tries to punch him, only to quickly retreat out of fear. Kabuto's instincts are sending him danger signals that are telling him he would have died very quickly. Kabuto then asks the hero how he got so strong, with Saitama claiming that he did 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10 kilometers run every day for 3 years. Kabuto starts to transform into Carnage mode. In this mode, Kabuto goes on an uncontrollable berserk rage for a whole week. He then states that he will go on a rampage until next Saturday, which utterly surprises Saitama. He starts to rampage and flings Saitama around the room seemingly like a ragdoll. As he does this, Saitama starts pondering about what the rampage going until the next week could mean for him. He admits that he has made a horrible mistake and realizes that it is also Saturday today. With horror, Saitama loudly announces that it is a bargain day at the supermarket, killing Carnage Kabuto with a single punch in the exact moment. At number 4, we have Genos and Saitama against the Deep Sea King. The fight starts with Genos delivering a devastating blow to the Deep Sea King's face, launching him out of the shelter and through several buildings. The two combatants exchange a barrage of punches. Genos continues his assault and attacks with a very powerful uppercut, sending Deep Sea King crashing up through the roof. Genos follows this up with his incineration cannons and a new move, Lightning Eye, temporarily blinding his opponent. While blinded, Genos pummels him down with a kick and his machine gun blows. While civilians are running away, the Deep Sea King spits acid at a little girl. Left with no other choice, Genos throws his body into the path of the acid spit, saving her but damaging his body greatly, to the point where he was defenseless and unable to fight. Shortly after, Saitama arrived just in time to save both Genos and Mumen Rider. Deep Sea King rushes over and punches him in the back of the head. He remains unharmed and unfazed, without a scratch. Furious, Deep Sea King throws a full power punch, but before it can connect, Saitama casually punches him in the stomach, ripping a hole in his torso and killing him instantly. Number 3. Genos and Saitama against Giant Meteor. Astronomers detected an asteroid heading towards Earth. It suddenly shifted its trajectory and aimed for Z City. All S-Class heroes were called to deal with it, but only Bang, Beaufoy, and Genos responded. The Meteor withstands Beaufoy's missiles and Genos' blasts with no apparent damage. Genos opened up his chest to reveal his power core, which he attaches directly into the shoulder of his left arm. Using all of his power, he launches a massive attack at the Meteor. Unfortunately, his attack does still nothing to the Meteor, as he ran out of power and collapsed at the roof. Suddenly, Saitama arrives and tells Bang to take care of Genos as he launches himself towards the Meteor, destroying the building. As Saitama is flying, he punches himself through the Meteor, completely destroying it. Although its momentum is halted, the meteorite fragments scatter across the Z City and leave it with massive collateral damage. Saitama then lands, looks around, and nonchalantly states that the job is settled. Coming up next at number 2, Saitama against Genos. After National Hero Registry exam, Saitama gets into a sparring contest with Genos. The motivation for this sparring match was to figure out the lengths of his power. Sparring starts with Genos launching himself at Saitama. He then follows up with a kick and a barrage of punches, which Saitama dodges, then tries to hit him with Incineration Cannon, but Saitama easily evades it. Shortly after, Genos prepares an even more powerful version of his Incineration Cannon. He misses once again. Saitama shows up behind Genos, taps him on the shoulder, pokes him in the cheek when he turns his head, and says that he wins. Genos retaliates by trying to punch him, which Saitama avoids by jumping over and behind him. Genos then reminds Saitama that the rules of the fight involve him taking the fight seriously. Saitama suddenly appears in front of Genos. As Genos turns to face Saitama, his punch hurls towards him. Genos experiences impending death. Saitama stops his fist just before it hits. Shortly after, Genos thinks he will never even come close to becoming as strong as his master.
さすがに強いな。このボロスと互角に戦える者はお前が初めてだ。エネルギーの放出。これに触れれば骨すら残らん。
Number 1. Saitama against Boros. Boros introduces himself as Dominator of the Universe. Face to face with Saitama, Boros explains that he traveled to Earth because of a prophecy that foretold of a worthy opponent there. Suddenly, Saitama punches him into a pillar and berates him for destroying a city for a stupid reason. The clash begins. He states that Saitama is the only one out of countless beings to survive this long against himself. Seeing Saitama is unfazed by his attacks, Boros uses his trump card, Meteoric Burst, and continues his assault. He finishes his attacks with a knee that launches Saitama to the moon. Upon the hero's return, Boros is surprised but also excited, and he charges at him with a barrage of attacks. Although Saitama is initially not moving, he soon counters with a normal punch that knocks him back before attacking him with his consecutive normal punches, tearing him into pieces. However, his regenerative ability allows him to reform almost immediately. Eager to end the fight, Boros decides to use his final attack, collapsing Star Warring Cannon, to annihilate Saitama and the planet itself. Before the blast hits the planet, Saitama responds to this by unleashing his own trump card, Serious Series, Serious Punch. This completely nullifies Boros' massive energy attack, and the pressure from it alone obliterates Boros. Before passing away, he compliments Saitama for the splendid battle.
だったらこっちも切り札を使うぜ。必殺マジシリーズ、マジ殴り。
And that's it. It was really hard to choose only 10 epic moments, thus I recommend to watch Season 1 and 2 to experience all of them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your list below. There's more to come.